Good morning, everyone. I am Rinalyn Monticalvo Binondo. Fiscal policies from 1946 to present is the assigned topic that given to me. Firstly, let's define the fiscal policy. Fiscal policy is measures employed by government to stabilize the economy, specifically by manipulating the levels and all allocations of tax and government expenditures. Fiscal measures are frequently used in tandem with monetary policies to achieve certain. The impact of the world on the Philippines economy was effectively disparate, as Manila, the capital, was razed to the ground with the rest of the Philippines was relatively untouched. But the highly agriculture-based economy was disrupted. The United States may have declared the Philippines independence, but as the country needed rehabilitation found from the United States, the dependence of the Philippines to the American was an opportunity to be taken advantages of the former colonial administrators. The economic situations was so problematic that by 1949, there was a severe lack of funds in many aspects of governance, such as the militaries and educational sectors. No efforts were made to improve tax collections, and the United States advised the adoption of direct taxations. The administrators of President Manuel Rojas declined the proposals because it did not want to alienate its allies in Congress. The impetus of economic growth came during the times of President Elpidio Quirino through the implementations or import and exchange controls that lead to import substitutions development. These policies allowed for the expansions of valuable manufacturing sectors that reduce economic dependencies of imports. New tax measures were also passed, which include a higher corporate tax rates that increase government's revenues. Tax revenues in 1953 increased twofold compared to 1948, the year when Quirino first assumed presidency. While the succeeding presidents of Magsaysay, Garcias, and Macapagals promised to study the tax structures and policies of the country. Through the creations of the tax commissions in 1959 by means of Republic Act No. 2211 to make a way for a more robust and efficient tax collections scheme, post-wars fiscal policy remained regressive, characterized by the overburdenings of the lowest classes, while the landed elite who lead business interests were in the Congress to ensure that taxes will not be leveled to them who belongs to the higher classes of society. The periods of the post-war republic also saw a rise in corruption. From 1959 to 1968, Congress did not pass any tax legislation despite important change in the economy, and the vested interest of Filipino businessmen in Congress will manifest in any instances such as the rejections of taxes imports and direct taxation still contribute to 3/4 of tax revenues, and omnibus tax law of 1969 did not increase the ratios of income tax to general tax revenue. Collections of taxes remained poor. Tax structures that still problematic, as much of the public funds were lost of corruptions, which left the governments incapable of funding projects geared toward development. Under the Marcos authoritarian regimes, the tax systems remained regressive. During the later parts of the Marcos year 1981 to 1985, the tax systems was still heavily dependent on indirect taxes, which made up 70% of total tax collections. The tax systems also remains unresponsive to tax growth, at an average annual rate of 15% and generated a low tax yield. Tax effort defines as the ratios between the shares of the actual tax collections in gross domestic products and predictable taxable capacity was at low 10.7%. As Corazon Aquino took the helm of the governments after the EDSA revolutions, she reforms the tax system through the 1986 tax reform program. The aim was to improve the responsiveness of their tax systems, promote equities by ensuring that similarly situated individuals and firms bear the same tax burdens, promote growth by redrawing or modifying taxes that reduce incentives to work or produce, and improve tax administrators by simplifying the tax systems and promoting tax compliances. And that's all. Thank you.